We're looking at professional growth, and specifically, we're going to look at the challenge of managing work time. This one is an interesting one to use with the teacher because it has some pretty strong resources that would allow for some really good conversations. And I think it goes well beyond the old approach of making a list, which is actually not a good solution to the stresses of managing work time. So, in developing your time management skills, I was able to rely really heavily on some terrific websites. I think the best one was British. So, the idea is to really understand what time management is. And we start with a really terrific self-assessment that helps the teacher identify what is it that is keeping them from using their time more wisely. Are they easily distracted by new and shiny objects? Do they like to try new things? Is it difficult for them to focus on something intensely? And then there's this lovely teacher's guide to procrastination, which is a little bit humorous as well as informative. And it's a nice conversation piece to have with the teacher because these tend to be emotional conversations. And then this system for time management talks about those ideas that will elevate your thinking beyond the basic idea of using a checklist. When it's time to go in and actually create, I do start with a checklist only because it's the only way the coach is really going to know what's sitting on this teacher's mind or backing up in the tube, so to speak. In this way, we help them see what's urgent and what's not. And this is a chance to talk to them about goal setting because if they use the filter of goal setting, it often makes it easier to see what's urgent and what's not. Here's the chance to then actually try managing one small element. We've decided what was the most urgent. We've made a plan. Let's try it out and see if things improved and definitely find out what didn't work so that the system can be iterative because this is not something that's solved with a one-step process. Isn't it all about teaching when we talk about how often the unexpected occurs? We are dealing with children, we are dealing with administrators, all different types who all have their own agendas, and the reality of our own lives. And so, teaching is definitely one of the most challenging professions for thinking in terms of how do I deal with the stuff that I didn't plan for. And often you're distracted by whatever's just come down the pike. So, this is intended to help teachers uh, practice the idea so that they can start to internalize it of how do I deal with the unexpected when I'm having to manage so many things. Um, we have the Whoop that is so popular here. It does help us keep a focus. And the hot mess protocol, another one that we all enjoy as coaches. These are both great protocols for having a relatively informal discussion about this often painful subject. Once we've had that chance to do that, we go in and we actually use them and apply them, one or the other, probably, to create an opportunity to pick a small piece, like a lesson or a strategy, and just apply the idea of what could possibly go wrong. Another strategy that you might enjoy using if the hot mess you don't feel is like narrow enough for your teacher could be to use the pre-mortem protocol that's also on our strategy browser. The intended outcome of this is that you've picked a small slice of something that tends to come up and take them off balance, and they're going to try a strategy to deal with it the next time it comes up and reflect on whether or not it worked.